There are moments in life when doing the right thing feels like losing. There are moments when integrity feels expensive, when obedience feels lonely, when truth makes you unpopular, when forgiveness feels unfair, when silence feels like weakness, when walking away feels like defeat, when choosing God's way feels like you are handing the victory to the very people who wounded you. But hear this clearly: you can never go wrong doing what is right. Not because people will always reward you, not because the world will always understand you, not because the outcome will immediately look good, but because righteousness is never wasted in the hands of God. The world teaches us to do what works. God teaches us to do what is holy. The world says, protect yourself at all costs. God says, guard your heart, but do not lose your soul. The world says, get even. God says, vengeance is mine, I will repay. The world says, if they lie on you, lie louder. God says, the truth does not need to scream to be eternal. And this is where the believer is tested, not when everyone is watching, not when doing right benefits us, not when righteousness gives us applause. The real test comes when doing right costs us something, when you could curse them, but you pray, when you could expose them, but you stay quiet, when you could cheat, but you remain honest, when you could become bitter, but you keep your spirit clean, when you could become what hurt you, but you refuse. That is where heaven leans in, because anyone can do right when it is easy. But the children of God are formed in the fire of doing right when wrong would feel justified. Joseph did right and still ended up in a pit. He did right and still ended up sold. He did right and still ended up falsely accused. He did right and still ended up in prison. But Joseph's righteousness was not a dead end. It was a staircase. Every betrayal became a step. Every false accusation became a step. Every lonely season became a step. Every place that looked like punishment was secretly preparation. And that is what the enemy does not understand. When you do right before God, even your suffering becomes material in his hands. The pit could not cancel Joseph. The prison could not bury Joseph. The lie could not define Joseph. Because when God is writing the story, righteousness may be delayed, but it is never defeated. Sometimes doing right does not change them. Sometimes doing right changes you. It keeps your heart from becoming infected. It keeps your hands clean. It keeps your conscience awake. It keeps your spirit sensitive to the voice of God. Because the danger is not only what people do to you. The danger is what their actions awaken in you. The danger is that betrayal makes you cruel. The danger is that disappointment makes you dishonest. The danger is that pain convinces you to abandon your character. The enemy does not always need to destroy your life. Sometimes he only needs to convince you to act outside of who God called you to be. He wants your wound to become your personality. He wants your anger to become your language. He wants your bitterness to become your wisdom. He wants your revenge to feel like justice. But the Holy Spirit whispers, do right anyway. Do right when they lie. Do right when they leave. Do right when they misunderstand. Do right when no one claps. Do right when it feels like nobody noticed. Because God noticed. And the eyes of the Lord see what people overlook. The world may measure success by who wins the argument, who gets the money, who gains the attention, who looks powerful in public. But heaven measures differently. Heaven asks, did you stay faithful? Did you keep your heart pure? Did you obey when it hurt? Did you choose love without becoming foolish? Did you tell the truth without becoming cruel? Did you hold your peace without surrendering your dignity? Doing right does not mean you become a doormat. It does not mean you ignore evil. It does not mean you let people abuse you. It means you do not let darkness teach you how to behave. It means you can set boundaries without hatred. You can leave without revenge. You can speak truth without malice. You can correct without destroying. You can protect your peace without poisoning your soul. That is maturity. That is holiness. That is strength under the government of God. Jesus did right and was still betrayed. Jesus did right and was still mocked. Jesus did right and was still falsely accused. Jesus did right and was still crucified. And for one dark moment, it looked like righteousness had lost. It looked like evil had won. It looked like the liar had conquered the truth. It looked like the innocent lamb had been swallowed by the grave. But 3 days later, God revealed what heaven already knew. Righteousness may be crucified, but it cannot stay buried. Truth may be mocked on Friday, but it will rise on Sunday. The stone may be sealed. The guards may be posted. The crowd may walk away thinking it is over. But when God stands behind what is right, no grave can hold it. So do not be deceived by temporary outcomes. Sometimes wrong looks like it is winning because it moves faster. Lies travel quickly. Manipulation performs well. Revenge feels powerful. Compromise opens doors. But righteousness has roots. And whatever is rooted in God may grow slower, but it grows stronger. You may not see the harvest today. You may not get the apology. You may not get the credit. You may not get the recognition. You may not get the outcome you thought you deserved. But you will have peace. And peace is not small. Peace is proof that you did not trade your soul for a reaction. Peace is proof that you did not let the moment master you. Peace is proof that God still governs the inner room of your heart. So examine yourself. Were you tempted to do wrong because someone did wrong to you? Were you tempted to lie because telling the truth might cost you? Were you tempted to compromise because waiting on God feels too slow? Were you tempted to become cold because love made you vulnerable? Were you tempted to stop being good because being good did not protect you from pain? Bring that place before God, because the real battlefield is not just around you, it is within you. The enemy wants you to believe that righteousness is weakness, but righteousness is warfare. Every time you choose truth over deception, you are warring. Every time you choose obedience over impulse, you are warring. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, you are warring. Every time you choose integrity when nobody would know the difference, you are warring. And heaven records what earth forgets. Galatians says, "Be not weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." That means doing right can make you weary. God would not tell us not to grow weary if righteousness never exhausted us. Sometimes doing right will make you tired. Sometimes doing right will make you cry. Sometimes doing right will make you feel alone. But the promise is this: there is a due season, not a maybe season, not a forgotten season, a due season, a God-appointed season where seeds of obedience become fruit. So keep sowing, keep praying, keep forgiving, keep telling the truth, keep walking clean, keep refusing to bow to the spirit of this age. Keep your hands out of what God told you to leave alone. Keep your mouth from speaking what your flesh wants to say. Keep your heart tender even in a hard world, because you can never go wrong doing what is right. You may lose people. You may lose opportunities. You may lose comfort. You may lose the approval of those who only love the version of you they could control. But you will not lose God. And if you do not lose God, you have not lost the final thing. So let them misunderstand. Let them talk. Let them walk away. Let them think they won. You stay with God. You stay with truth. You stay with righteousness. You stay with clean hands and a surrendered heart. Because in the end, God does not ask, did they treat you right? He asks, did you remain faithful? And when the books are open, when motives are revealed, when hidden tears are counted, when silent obedience is honored, you will understand. No act of righteousness was wasted. No prayer was ignored. No obedience was unseen. No clean choice was meaningless. You were not losing. You were being proven. You were being purified. You were being prepared. And the God who saw you do right in secret will reward you openly in his perfect time. So do right anyway. Do right tired. Do right misunderstood. Do right wounded. Do right afraid. Do right when your flesh is begging for revenge. Do right when your pride wants the last word. Do right when your heart is shaking. Because righteousness is not just what you do, it is who you become when God has truly touched your soul. And beloved, you can never go wrong doing what is right. If you enjoyed today's content, be sure to like and subscribe. Take care and God bless.